Hello there. How you doing? It's been a while. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. It's been like 3 months. You're probably gonna see this in September, although I'm recording this, as you can see, August 30th, but you're probably gonna see this in sometime in September. Hopefully today. Hopefully in the same day, but we're just gonna watch this, bro. Case that horrified even the police. I don't even know what this is about. I'm not entirely sure, but we're just gonna watch it. So just watch. Okay, just watch. Hopefully the audio is getting.
The challenge for our search teams were what we're going to have to deal with on the recovery of body parts.
Why is this how we start the video?
This case takes place in the United Kingdom on the 21st of April, 2015. Tracey Woodford was born on the 13th of February 1968 and grew up in Wales. She was described as a gentle and kind soul, and in her adult years, she was described as a 1968 and grew up in Wales.
Is that like in the UK, or did she literally grow up in Wales?
She was described as a gentle and kind soul, and in her adult years, Tracey remained close to her family, living with her mother Linda and her brother Sean. It is said that she lived a rather simple life and was happy to just spend time with her family and close friends. The day of April 21st, 2015 began like any other, but it would be the last time that 47-year-old Tracey would ever be seen alive again. Her brother Sean recalls the details of that day. They had a cup of tea in the kitchen where Tracey told her brother that she was going to be buying a ring in the town centre. So, on this day she ventured into Pontypridd town centre and purchased the ring. Following this, she decided to stop off at a couple of pubs and bars. Whilst there is nothing particularly strange about someone having a few drinks, it was unusual for Tracey, who rarely drank and had a low tolerance for alcohol. She wandered into various pubs and bars that afternoon, but at one point, she was refused alcohol for seeming to be too unsteady on her feet. Eventually, at around 7:45 p.m, Tracey wandered into the Skinny Dog pub, a place where locals were known to have gathered. It is in this pub where she encountered a 50-year-old man named Christopher May. Tracey's presence at the Skinny Dog was noted by those around her, as she
This looks like a... I'm not sure if this is a killer or not, but this dude just looks like a... It's creepy. I'm sorry, but it just looks creepy. Why does he look like Vin Diesel?
appeared to be nervous and fragile. Despite this, she found herself conversing with Christopher May and his group of friends. It is likely that Tracey's nervous disposition was of keen interest to Christopher, who saw a dark and twisted opportunity. Christopher was described as a joker and a nice guy by his friends, and the Skinny Dog was his usual drinking spot. As the evening at the pub progressed, Tracey's demeanor shifted. She perked up and began to feel comfortable with Christopher and his friends. Witnesses would later recall seeing the two flirting with one another, with Christopher at one point offering to buy her drinks if she went home with him, although Tracey insisted that she was not that kind of woman. But as the night went on, and as the clock neared 11:30 p.m, CCTV cameras would capture Tracey walking alongside Christopher, heading towards his flat. 3 hours following Tracey's last appearance on CCTV, neighbours residing beneath Christopher's flat were
okay, I'm trying not to freaking pause it so much, but I
awakened by a sharp thud. The neighbours assumed that Christopher was returning home after a night drinking like he would usually do, and that he was drunk and had fallen over. Because of this, they paid little attention. That night, Tracey didn't make it home, and her family became deeply worried. The following day, Christopher appeared at his workplace. He worked at a restaurant, and members of staff at this restaurant noticed prominent scratches on his face. The manager asked what had happened to him, and Christopher recounted a story of an accident involving a pole that he purchased from a hardware store. This explanation was accepted without suspicion at the time, as there was no reason to suspect anything sinister. A neighbor of Christopher had also seen him walking around carrying something. His appearance made an impression on her, as he appeared to be extremely fatigued. She noted that he seemed drained of life. With still no word from Tracey, her family began to take action. Tracey's mother had called around to see if anyone had seen her daughter. She called her other daughter Sharon to see if Tracey had spent the night with her, but Sharon hadn't seen her either. They had called and messaged Tracey a number of times, but there was no response. This behavior was completely out of the ordinary, so they decided to involve the police. As the investigation began, the pieces began to fit together rather quickly. The police checked out the pubs in Pontypridd and were able to trace the final moments of Tracey's movements. They heard from many of the locals that Tracey had last been seen flirting with Christopher and that the two had left the pub together. On the 24th of April, just days after her initial disappearance, Sergeant Stuart Williams and Constable Craig Gardner knocked on Christopher's door. Initially met with reluctance, they persisted and were finally granted access inside. The first thing that struck the officers was a foul smell. One of the officers would later say that he could
see, bro, it's always like the smells. Like, that's the, like, I remember Jeffrey Dahmer, and they would always, like, everybody would always say something like the one of the residents there next to him, or like a couple rooms down, would always be like there's always something smelling past something, like, through the vents. Like, I can smell it through my vents, Jeff. And he would say something like, yeah, it's just some meat gone bad. Doesn't sound like meat gone bad. It doesn't smell like meat gone bad. Because I know what meat gone bad smells like. And whatever she was smelling, she probably was not smelling meat gone bad. Raw meat.
Smell what he believed to be rotten meat and cat urine. Inside the flat, Christopher appeared apprehensive. He recounted the events of that night, telling the police that he had met Tracey and that they did leave the pub together, but he claimed that he had made an inappropriate offer to Tracey and that she walked away after feeling insulted. Christopher then said that he returned home that night alone and had not seen or heard from her since. Not fully believing the story, the police wanted to probe a little further. Officers requested to search his flat, and Christopher agreed. They walked further inside Christopher's home, where the smell became even more apparent. They entered the bathroom of the home and pulled back the shower curtain. And behind the shower curtain were Tracey's dismembered arms and legs. The South Wales Police Forensics Investigation Team were called to the flat, whilst Christopher was taken into custody and questioned. Inside the flat were a chilling array of tools. They found that Christopher had used a handsaw, kitchen knife, and scissors to dismember her body. The police found an
Why so many things though? Like, that doesn't take all that.
Adidas rucksack containing the upper torso of Tracey, and a handbag containing the partial remains of a thumb and fingers that matched the arm discovered in the shower, although they couldn't find Tracey's head. News of the
What? Why, like, everything else is there? Why isn't there a head there?
unfolding horror spread like wildfire through the community as a dense police presence covered the area and media outlets gathered. During questioning, Christopher told the police that he had hidden some of her remains in a storm drain. On the 25th of April, the police went to this location. Meters inside this dark tunnel, they made a grim discovery. The tunnel was incredibly dark. On a ledge, a meter or so from the bottom of the chamber, officers could see that there was something in a red bag. The officer then turned his head to the right and saw a human head
No. No. No.
Lying on its side and was covered in bruises and slash marks, and inside the red bag were more of Tracey's remains. This means that Christopher had removed Tracey's head, placed her inside a rucksack, left the house, and walked around in public with it on his back before placing the head in the storm drain. To think about him walking around in public with a severed head is incredibly chilling.
Right, it's like
The trial would be...
nobody, like, the head didn't smell. He didn't say how long it was before she, how long before it was he walked there, like in the days or hours, so it takes like a day or two for a body to rot. A couple weeks, days.
Later into 2015, PC Craig Gardner broke down while giving evidence about the moment he found Tracey's remains in the shower. He said, "I thought my eyes were deceiving me and that I was watching some sort of horror movie." A pathologist who examined Tracey's body gave evidence. He said the dismemberment had been carried out by someone with experience with knives or of cutting up human bodies or animals. Christopher had previously been employed as a butcher, and he knew how to use a knife, how to remove meat from ribs, legs and shoulders, and was good at boning. The prosecution said, "It seems that his expertise in a butcher's shop has been put to use on a human body." The defense argued that Tracey was killed in a fit of rage after Christopher caught her going through his wallet. Christopher insisted that the killing was in self-defense and that he lost control during the row and strangled her to death.
How is it self-defense? Even if she did do that, I don't think she did, but even if she did, why did you strangle her? Why did you strangle her? There was no reason for you to strangle her. Look at me. Look at me. There was no reason to strangle her. There was no reason to strangle her, sir. Sir, what is wrong with you? We're just... I gotta fix the camera back again. Shut up. Wait, did I not turn this down?
He also claimed that as he sobered up, he was physically sick several times, disgusted at what he had done to Tracey. He described that everything felt unreal as he transferred body parts from his flat over the following days into the water drain. Although it seemed that Christopher was not telling the whole truth from the evidence collected.
That's not it? That's not it?
It seemed that this was no accident. His laptop revealed that on the night of Tracey's death, he had spent hours watching adult content after killing her, suggesting that there was some disturbing sexual motive for the heinous crime. And not only that, investigators found traces of Christopher's DNA on Tracey's body. The prosecution said that it's extremely likely, if not certain, that he used her body for his own gratification when she was dead. The prosecution argued that the killing of Tracey was a deliberate murder, and that Christopher played out his depraved and disturbing fantasies on an innocent and trusting woman. What is incredibly disturbing is that most of Tracey's internal organs have not been found, although some of them were found to be blocking Christopher's toilet as he attempted to flush some of them away. On the 19th of November 2015, following a 2-week trial, Christopher May was found guilty of Tracey Woodford's murder. He was given a...
tried flushing him down the toilet. What?
life sentence with a minimum term of 28 years. It's reported that Christopher sat expressionless as the jury delivered the verdict. In the aftermath of the harrowing events that unfolded, the weight of the tragedy settled heavily on both the Woodford family and the entire community. The life of Tracey had been brutally cut short in the most brutal of ways. Her family have said that they are heartbroken and struggle to cope with their loss. Her mother Linda said, "It feels like we're living in a nightmare. He has torn my family apart. He has destroyed us totally. And Tracey's brother Sean has said, I'm now angry every day and I struggle to sleep most nights.
Yeah, I feel sorry for that family and her, what she had to go through. Even though she's not here, but even just, like, imagine the pain she had to go through while she was alive. It's like being, like, drowning and being strangled, like, drowning is your lungs, but being strangled, like, you feel that man's, whatever, human's hand on your neck. That's just messed up people in this world. I see why. It's just like, bro, what? Like, sometimes I wonder, like, what makes them do? Like, what goes through that person's mind? Like, I wonder. Sometimes I wonder, like, was it a childhood thing that made you feel this way? Or was it, like, just always been like that? You know? I don't know. Anyway, I hope you hadn't. Okay, that was really weird. But anyway, I hope you had, like that reaction. Yeah, it horrified me. It horrified me too. Especially the part where he tried to flush the remains down the toilet. What's wrong with you? Why? Why? Just why? But I'm sorry. Again, I'm sorry for not uploading in like 2 months, 2-3 months. But this should be a good comeback to YouTube for me. This should be a good comeback to YouTube for me. But anyway, we'll see you next time. Stay safe. Don't end up like that, please. I'd hate to be reacting to one of you when what's happening to one of you. Stay safe. Love y'all.